1649 to St. George's Hill. A riot band they call the Beers to show the people's will. They defy the landlords, they defy the laws. They were the dispossessed, reclaiming what was theirs. We come in peace and set to feed and sow. We come to work the land in common and to make the wastelands grow. It's earth divided, we will make whole. So it will be a common treasury for all. There's sin of property, we do disdain. No one has any right to buy or sell the earth for private gain. By theft and murder, Kerwin stole the land. Now everywhere no trespassing is his command. They make the laws now to chain us well. Their clergy dazzles us with heaven or they damn us into hell. We will not worship the God they serve. A God of greed who feeds the rich while poor folks starve. You pork we eat together, we need no swords. We will not bow down to the masters or pay rent unto the lords. We are free people, though we are poor. You diggers all stand up for freedom, stand up now. From the man of property, the orders came. They sent their hired men and shippers to wipe out the diggers' slaves, tore down their cottages, destroy their corn. They were dispersed, but still the vision lingers on. That's us! You poor take courage, you rich take care. This earth was made a common treasury for everyone to share. All things in common, all beings one. We come in peace, the orders came to chop them down. We come in peace and time to save the roads, to yard the woods, to thin trees, and to blockade all the roads. If water's safe, we will keep whole. Headwaters Forest is a treasury for all. Headwaters Forest is a treasury for all.
Hello, welcome to Todos Somos Marcos. I'm out in my backyard sitting by my little coast redwood that I planted this summer, and we're going to talk about the coast redwoods, especially about the Headwaters Redwood Grove, the largest, the last privately held unprotected redwood grove. Most of you know, I'm sure, that the redwood is one of the oldest, grandest, rarest trees on the planet. That is there's a real race to protect this, and each grove is a natural and worldwide resource. It's been subject to the Headwaters Grove, privately owned, has been subject to slash and burn harvesting by Maxim Corporation, which took over a local logging company some years ago in a hostile takeover, and has now been trying to reap as much bucks out of this resource as fast as it can before the public gets it together to protect this resource. Environmentalists have staged an ongoing protest against this to try and draw national attention to the urgency of this issue. They succeeded in drawing national attention last month in October when they staged a nonviolent sit-in in the Congressman's office, Congressman Frank Riggs of Northern California, and the sheriffs, in an attempt to dislodge them, applied torture to these nonviolent protesters. You're going to watch it now, and I think you'll find that this is very moving and important footage. If you thought that torture was just something that happened in distant third world places. Watch it now in Northern California.
To disperse. If you do not, you shall be arrested for violation of Section 407, unlawful assembly, and Penal Code Section 409 and 416, refusal to disperse, and Section 602, trespass. If you
Well, we could go on America's Home Video. Oh no, we changed it to
We're here to discuss potential conflict of interest with Frank Riggs about the timber industry and his ideas about this deal that he supports. We actually are really concerned that he's not representing the workers of this community and that he's not really seeing the bigger picture about the future of jobs. He's looking at the short term about what's going to grease his pockets and all the corporate barons of this larger picture. So
somebody needs to stand up. It's not going to last forever if it continues on this way. So I hope somebody's inspired. They're inside of the police department watching this, and
what you do to the land, you do to yourself. So when you cut down the trees, eventually you're going to start cutting down people.
Yeah, we
cut
really
their
want
jobs.
to
You're going to cut their
7,500 acres is inadequate because we're talking about an ecosystem. We're not talking about a forest.
we can't replace it. The deal goes.
Okay,
All right. Whoa!
this is private property.
Yes.
If you do not leave, you will be arrested for trespassing. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Will you voluntarily leave? Will you unhook and leave?
No.
Okay, this is a misdemeanor. It is occurring in my presence. I also have permission from the renter or the person in control of the property to have you arrested or arrest you for trespassing. Again, will you leave?
No.
Okay, if you do not leave, chemical agents will be used.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, we have to do what we have to do. The problem is, if we cut this loose, it throws a lot of sparks around. You've placed a lot of fire right here, and I don't want to cause a fire inside the building until you, me, damage the building. If you release, you've accomplished the same thing. You've shut down the office, you've got your people out there, the press is out there, the media's out there, obviously. You've brought attention to your cause. You go to jail the same. You just save a lot of damage to the carpet, to the wood chips, to yourselves, and saved a lot of time when we get back and actually arrest some criminals.
You know, I think it's actually kind of, we have to make a stand that you can't use chemical weapons against the American public as torture techniques.
Well, it's not a
you know?
torture technique. It's the safest way for me to get this problem
That's
resolved.
not, you know, I'm certain people have been killed using this.
Okay, well, you've been warned.
We're non-violent, we're not a threat.
Well, you are a threat because if we have to use cutting agents, it could start a fire, and that is definitely a threat to the public safety of the citizens of Erie, to yourself, to me, and to people in general. That's why we have to do this. Chemical agents is safer than potentially starting a fire. Temporary effect, not permanent. This hurts like heck, and I will agree. I have been sprayed.
You know, I mean, it's kind of a nasty reality.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that.
You know, it's really gross, you know, letting police use chemical weapons on American citizens. This is really a lovely realm to be going down.
And you could just lay tarps on the floor to protect so the sparks don't go.
Can we go back after a bunch?
Yeah. No, after Robert wants to stay here. Deputy, would you assist me, please?
Please don't use it.
We're going to hold on
Well, I understand that, but again, it's a lot
Jennifer, you're
safer.
very well of the effects of this chemical agents. You better let your other friends know what this feels like. You have the options of releasing. You felt
We have the
the
options
release.
of not torturing us with chemical weapons.
I'm telling you, you have the options. Here. You failed to do the release, I'm going to use chemical agents to try to get you off of
Well,
here.
we're going to fight it in court that it's not a right thing for people to be
Okay.
using chemical weapons on other people. You know,
I'm going
it's
to
not,
start
it's
this.
not right.
I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to start this process. Are you going to release?
We're not going to release because we believe in the forest and we need to make this stand. And you have other options.
We can solidarity systems.
Are you going to release or not?
I'm not going to release.
Close your eyes. Relax. There's a camera over here.
All right.
She's non-violent.
That's really swell, you guys. You feel
There you go, Stan. Run for your life.
How are you going to release? I'm giving you the option to release
Can
before.
I think about it?
No,
for a
you can do it
second?
now. You have about 10 seconds to think about it.
Deep breath.
Thanks,
Deep
guys.
breath.
Think about your daughters. Think about your daughters.
Okay.
7,
All right.
8, 9, 10. Are you going to release?
Surround yourself in a love.
Deer, nor mountain heights with bitter joy, hear the sound of pain.
Okay, just breathe.
Stand by one. Are you gonna release Jennifer?
Where do you want it?
You can just get
You
the
don't
parking
wanna go
lot for
through
this
this
time
again,
and straighten
Jennifer.
that.
Come on.
No, don't open it.
Damn, you guys. Cut it out. They really not to be doing this. We're taking this to court, you know. It's not going to look good torturing people, torturing women who are standing up for everybody's rights.
You can release
It's not going to look good in court. You know what? You have other options. You did not have chemical weapons. This is a new thing that you're doing to the American public. We already saw it enough for this.
Your mother, you're torturing us.
Give him.
It hurts like hell, and I don't see what you're going to do.
It's not going to hurt anymore if we
We're gonna
unlock,
have to
you
just
know,
pass out.
or any less either.
Would it help if we brought that to go? You can kind of take it away from your eyes with your shoulder. Fuck is right. Fuck. Oh.
That's fine.
They're using pepper spray! Call your congressman! They're torturing American citizens with pepper spray! Call your congressman!
If we unlock, we're not going to hurt any less. It's still going to hurt for hours. Stop.
Hear that oak hanging above you?
Thanks everybody for coming out here today to support preservation of the Headwaters Forest. The 60,000 acre Headwaters Forest, that is. Not the Headwaters Forest that Dianne Feinstein and President Clinton and Charles Hurwitz have tried to put off on us. Not the 3,000 acre Headwaters Forest, but the full 60,000 acres. I was reading a book recently by biologist Chris Mazer. By the way, my name's Robert Parker, and I'm from the from the Trees Foundation. I've been working on the Headwaters Forest Stewardship Plan, which I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today. Chris Mazer begins his book, Forest Primeval, with a few thoughts that I wanted to share with you today. Chris writes that sometimes, all the time actually, we're a lot more than players in the stage of history. And whether we want to or not, whether we like it or not, we actually write the scripts. And that sometimes we get so caught up in the poorly written scripts that we produce that we fail to see the alternatives and fail to look beyond the current scenario. And he's talking here not only about issues of human history, but issues of ecology and issues of evolution and issues about the future of Mother Earth herself and the kind of influence that we in our actions have on them, and what a bad influence we can have when we fail to look beyond the current picture. The current Headwaters Agreement is one of those poorly written scripts. It will only save and set aside approximately 3,000 acres of ancient forest within the headwaters. One of the main stipulations of the deal is that the Habitat Conservation Plan, a license to kill endangered species, must also be approved.
Unacceptable! A big corporations plunder!
The current draft Habitat Conservation Plan would allow a total of 6,500 acres of ancient forest and old growth, both within the Headwaters Forest and on PL's total 210,000 acre holdings, to be liquidated within 15 years. So we're here to tell Dianne Feinstein and the rest of the folks in the administration that this is completely unacceptable. That we need comprehensive protection for the Headwaters Forest. Now, John Garamendi, who's the Deputy Secretary of the Interior, Clinton's main negotiator in the Headwaters deal, spoke here in San Francisco last night. And he said, you know, 50% or 90%, about 50,000 acres of the Headwaters has been devastated. And I said to myself, Mr. Garamendi, you're totally right. And it's because of Maxam's rampant rape of the forest that has been happening in Humboldt County that that area is devastated. And what it needs is stewardship, and restoration, and love, and responsible management. It's for that reason that a group of scientists / activists in Humboldt County put together what we call the Headwaters Forest Stewardship Plan, which is this document that I'm holding right here in my hand. And I don't want to go into a lot of the details on this plan right now because it's complicated in many ways and can take some time. But it's calling for the preservation and set-aside of all of the ancient groves within the Headwaters Forest, as well as the residuals in Headwaters Forest, which are the seeds for recovery of the ecosystem, recovering of the habitat that the species out there depend on for their survival. But the government and the administration has turned a deaf ear on the stewardship plan. They've turned a deaf ear on us. Garamendi last night talked in a way that the thing was a done deal and it was going to be moving on along, and they haven't been interested in what we've been saying. Organizations, activists, individuals within the environmental movement, within the struggle to save the Headwaters Forest, have been consistently locked out of negotiations. They've been ignored. We haven't been listened to at all, and so we need to raise a strong voice that cries out to save the Headwaters Forest, all 60,000 acres. We will not compromise. After the last speaker here today, I'm going to go up to Dianne Feinstein's office because I don't think she's received a copy of this yet. And I want to deliver this to her and her staff. So I just wanted to let you all know that I will be making a trip up there to drop this off. Please hang out. There's going to be a lot more happening today. Love you all, and I really thank you all for coming out here.
All right. No deal. 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 Come on, let him go, you guys. Just let go. Let him go, man. Let him go. 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 Clown, let him go.
Shame! That's a penny to hold! Quit it!
I got all this on video, you guys.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
You got my blanket!
It's my right to observe, Officer Mangs.
Thank you! That's my baby.
Let him go. We can avoid this if you release that clown. That's all we're asking. Sit down. We're afraid of clowns. No violence. No violence. Afraid of clowns. Afraid of clowns. No violence. Afraid of clowns. Afraid of clowns. Leave us alone.
What happened with them? I didn't see it. Back up. You need back up. Back up. On the sidewalk. Back up on the sidewalk. Roll around here. Stay on the sidewalk. You leave that there. Whoa, sir. There's a clip right here. Why are you taking my possessions? There's a clip right here. Anybody see Walter?
Step back. Step back, please. Thank you. Stay on the other side.
They're in my car. Middle
He's the one that has all the giant puppets go into his vehicle. So if I'll take his keys and he'll give them. Does anybody else have your keys, Albert?
They're in my car in the middle compartment.
And nothing's locked?
Slide the sliding door open.
Hi folks, this is Patty the lawyer. We're here, we have plenty of observers here witnessing the arrest. The clown is now arrested and is in custody. People have the choice to He's been arrested for obstructing an officer during his duty. We have plenty of witnesses and I will keep an eye on what's going on with
We have a clear message as to why we're here today, and that's because Hurwitz and Maxam Company Corporation are going after the last of the ancient redwoods on the planet in Headwaters Forest. But it seems like the reason that the authorities come down on you, it seems like they've had a pretty concerted campaign of trying to suppress us, intimidate us, and violate our First Amendment rights. In the last several weeks, specifically, the mobilization of an army-like police force on September 14th for a crowd of peaceful, non-violent demonstrators, specifically declaring every action that we have an unlawful assembly and chasing people as they tried to disperse, specifically smearing pepper spray into the eyes of passive, non-violent protesters as they occupied a civic member office to disperse them. These things are not okay. I'm not as good as struggles with the city of Geneva. I'm not trying to say we didn't stop, but you have this campaign of intimidation. I wonder if the police and law enforcement start messing around with you and trying to suppress you, and you're being effective. And when you look at the Headwaters Forest, when you look on the ground, you will see that in the 60,000 acres, there isn't much going on except the trees growing and animals living. There's not very much volume going on in the 60,000 acres, at least this week. So, why don't you just take it off then? Jump on deck. They're going after old growth in Bear Creek, and they're going after old growth in Freshwater Creek, and that's where Earth First has been. Every day this week, there have been incredible lockdown, tree sit, cat and mouse actions in Bear Creek, and I think we're being pretty successful. So this is even more beautiful, given the history of standing up to intimidation.
You made your point. What's your release now?
You use chemicals on the earth too. You're killing our children with cancer. You're killing 1 in 7 in Mendocino County with cancer.
We'll take where we are. Look up here. Now this is water here. I'm gonna wash your eyes out.
I want to wash some of this out, okay?
I don't know.
It's water.
I can't trust you.
Because
only water.
Sister, you're doing so good. Sister, you are so strong. Solid. You never had to be this strong.
It's water, only water, okay?